All right, ladies and gentlemen, not gonna hold you. I debated long and hard about the idea or the approach for this particular video because in no way, shape, or form did I want any group of individuals to feel disrespected and or singled out. But if I'm gonna tell the story, I'm gonna have to sell you the story so that you can understand exactly where I'm coming from. And I think that once we touch on the points, you'll start to understand where this particular energy is coming from, okay? So let's go ahead and get it out the way. I do not like Americanized Filipinos. I do not like them, right? I don't like them. It's just different. It's not a disdain. I just don't care for their energy, right? Now, before we get into it, let's go ahead and define what I mean by Americanized Filipinos. This does not include individuals that I would refer to as your half-breeds, right? The half American, half Filipino. Not that. This specifically, in this case, pertains to individuals that have been in the United States from the Philippines. They were born, raised there, and they've come to the United States and they've lived here for, I would say, a decent period of time to where now they embody the energy of the American way. So let me tell you the story real quick. My wife had a crisis this morning, right? She had a crisis, and it's been ongoing for, I want to say, a couple of days now, a couple of weeks, probably even a couple of months. But she's come to basically have a disdain, with all due respect, for American food, right? She just don't like it, right? If you eat the same shit every day and it's something you're not used to, at some point you're gonna get tired of it. And then I think she's up there. So imagine we're out and about these streets. She's hungry. We don't really have enough time to get home for her to whip up something for herself, and stuff like that. So we're out. So we decided to go to the Filipino store, right? I've made videos of myself buying snacks and buying food from this store in my previous catalog. So there's a couple of videos back where I've been to this particular Filipino store. And when we went inside, the energy was just different, right? I've been in there a couple times, but it was different today, right? And mind you, I'm with my wife, right? So it's this black guy and his Filipino wife walking into the store. The eyes were fixated on us, right? Now, in the Philippines, I'm used to the stares, right? To an extent, they may not be used to seeing Americans or at least black Americans on a daily basis or regularly. So the stares are common, right? And I'm okay with that, right? If you stare at me when I'm in the Philippines, I get it why that may be. Maybe that's not the reason why, but I have a better understanding. But when you live in the United States and you're around American people all the time, I wouldn't expect to get stared down like that. Maybe they're just not used to these black people coming up into their store. I don't know. But ultimately, the eyes and the vibe were just completely different, right? So my wife goes and does a little grocery shopping, picks up a couple of knickknacks, things here and there. We go get us some food at the little hot bar. And, I just wasn't feeling it. Like, I could tell there was just something off. And I couldn't really pinpoint why I was feeling off and why I felt like the energy in the building was just different. And it probably had to be because I was there, right? Because I want you to understand, my wife's Filipino. Filipinos walk in that store all the time, so I doubt the energy was directed towards her. But the stares and all that stuff, I've never in a million years felt uncomfortable, and I wouldn't say that the feeling was uncomfortable, but it was just different. Because you could tell the stares weren't stares of curiosity. It was just stares, like a motherfucker gonna steal something. I don't know. It was just different. And although this may be considered an isolated incident, there have been times wherein I've been around people who have been here for a long period of time, specifically in the United States, and they somewhat embody that energy, right? That energy. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say the word. Sometimes it's that energy of hate, okay? And let's get into it, because if you know, you know, all right? So when I'm in the Philippines, the vibe is completely different. Welcoming, people cool as fuck, man. I've never had an issue with Filipinos, right? Maybe a couple of isolated ones, but nothing too dramatic, right? You go to the Philippines, they're super welcoming. Mabuhay, my brother, welcome to the Philippines. And a lot of people get this, black, white, or indifferent, right? But when they see you here, and they've been here for a long period of time, I feel like they embody that negative energy that I so much wish to escape about life here in the United States, right? That it's, I don't even know, jealousy, envy, you name it. You can go down a laundry list of negative energies that people can feel. And I feel like because Filipinos have been here, they've been around it, and I don't know, maybe there's still some issues with Asian hate. I don't know if they feel like that's still a thing. I'm not sure. Excuse me. I'm not sure. But one thing's for sure. You could tell that the energy was not right. And I do believe that although this could be considered isolated, I do believe that the same situation could occur in many different forms. All because I feel like they've just been here too long, right? They've just been here in the United States too long. And don't get me wrong, I love being an American. Let me not go into a rant, but there's just certain things about the country that, it's just unfortunate that I'm just like, man, this shit is weird to me, right? It's just different. I don't really fuck with it like that. But that's because I've had experiences in other countries, right? But don't think that I'm denouncing, I want to be an American. But it's just the energy here right now is just completely different, and it's not the same, and it's not what we signed up for, and it's just not what I'm about, which is why I keep to myself, just me and my wife and my people. And outside of that, I really don't rock with a lot of people. And, we really don't attend a lot of Filipino events, because my wife said something funny when we were leaving the store. She was like, I can almost guarantee they're going to talk about us when we leave, right? I can almost guarantee they're going to talk about us when we leave. What they say, we don't know. It doesn't matter. But whenever we enter a room as a couple and all of that stuff, you can kind of feel like people may rock with it. Some people may not, just depending. And she's like, yeah, they're probably going to talk about us when we leave. And that's probably why we don't attend a lot of events, right? Wherein there are Filipino communities and whatnot, and we go to these parties and the energy may not be as is, because they may have been here for long enough to embody the energy of the people that I really don't fuck with like that, right? And it comes from not so much the younger generation, but that middle-aged to older generation, kind of, because those are the people that I've kind of had my interactions with. Some of your more older Filipinos in your 30s, not 30s, about 40s, 50s, 60s, and above, maybe the ones that have been here for a period of time. And they just kind of probably developed a thought process, or they've developed a thought about particular individuals and people because they've seen how they act, or they see what they do. And personally, I just kind of consider myself to be a victim of the thought process of the individuals of my community, right? Because where I am here in good old small town North Carolina, the majority of the individuals who look like me don't necessarily do right. Best place for me, that's the best way for me to say it. We don't do right? So at a point, I can't be mad for being stared at, right? If it makes sense. To an extent, I cannot be upset with how I feel I'm being viewed, right? Through the eyes of others, if they have had negative experiences with people that look like me. But again, I do believe that comes from the taintedness of being here and being amongst people and being around people for long enough to develop that certain negative type energy, right? I do not believe that if I encounter these people that I'm talking about right now in the Philippines, in their own Philippine stores or whatever, I do not believe that the energy would be the same. That's what I'm trying to get to, which is why I personally do not like the idea of Americanized Filipinos, right? It sucks. I want you to come here and have all the opportunities. Don't get me wrong. I want y'all to have all the opportunities you can to grow and flourish if you get it, because very few and far between Filipinos get an opportunity to go abroad. So, I want you to milk that shit, but I guess I have to take and understand the fact that if you're here long enough, you're going to embody the energy that I do believe makes most Americans not excited to be, makes you not want to be around those types of people, right? And I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts. Doc, you overreacting, big dog. Don't know what the fuck you talking about. Filipinos are Filipinos. So just go on about your business. Or if you believe, you know what, Doc, I can see where you come from. I've kind of felt similar experiences, or I've kind of felt like the vibe of some Filipinos here and vibes of Filipinos in the Philippines are completely different. Maybe you've had those experiences. If you have, share them in the comment section below. Appreciate y'all rocking with the good doc. That's my time, effort, and energy. Y'all take care. Y'all stay blessed, man. Doc is out. Peace.